Ну что же, здравствуйте, дорогие друзья. Сегодня у нас будет защита проекта по кинофильмам. С этого компьютера я буду подсматривать, искать информацию, а на этом компьютере у нас будет созвон. Вот Discord, вот здесь будет звонок, и тут этот экран я буду раздавать всем участникам. Я покажу сначала структуру проекта, немножечко порисую вот таким графическим планшетом, где откуда ноги растут, как идет репозиторий, например, или же там контроллер. Но это, конечно, все еще впереди. То есть вот структуру нарисовал, спасибо. И давайте теперь пройдемся по пунктам, и я покажу, как это все работает. И тогда я включу, скорее всего, Postman и покажу, что вот смотрите, фильмы. Бабах показывает все фильмы, зеленый окей. Можно туда добавлять, вот, например, Create Movie. Например, жанров нет, 7 жанров, а вот актеры есть, актеров много, да. Ну и, допустим, этот год отправить, получилось. И смотрите, 3 жанра, 4 актера и 28-й фильм. Жираф. Жираф большой, ему видней. Вот так. Ну и потом попробуем его, конечно же, стереть. Наш 28-й фильм. Он должен сказать, что не могу жирафа стереть. У него 4 актера. Не можешь, не надо. Потом создадим актера какого-нибудь. Который тоже родился где-то тут недавно. Ну и скажем, что он снимался в фильмах. И фильмы были, например, 3 и 5. Хорошо. 21 создали. Давайте его обновим. Add movie IDs. Окей. Понятно. И скажем, что здесь 6 и 28, например. И удалять ничего не надо. И вот он снялся в 2 фильмах у нас. Вот. Ну и, конечно же, давайте мы поменяем имя, наверное, да? Ну вот 20, 21, 24. Давайте посмотрим. 21 фильм, он существует. Вот, 24 нету. Вот. Ну и таким образом я покажу весь функционал и расскажу, как работает сама программа. Они скажут, что давайте пойдем по пунктам, а тут я скажу, а давайте я покажу вам более удобный вариант. И тут, конечно же, я кликаю на тот файл, который мы все... Ага, мы идем на чек-лист, там, где нет ответов. Вот. Здесь просто ответы, и тут пока что... Вот это спрячем. Вот так вот. И поэтому пойдем. У меня те же самые пункты, но здесь они ничего не открываются. Вот. Ничего не открывается. А здесь у меня выпадает ответ. И я, например, спрашиваю. Conceptual knowledge. Student can describe a REST API URL structure. Base URL, resource, path, query parameters. Okay. And here I'm starting to read REST API, representational state transfer application programming interface. Uses a simple, uniform structure based on web standards. The URL breaks down as follows. Base URL, resource, API movies, path parameter with ID, and query parameters as genre, page, and so on. So any filters. Think of a URL like a street address for finding information online, and so on. So currently, I want to sort data from two sources. One is Gemini, and the previous one was given by Notion AI. Project data requirements. Sample data includes at least 5 genres, 20 movies, and 15 actors. And we use data loader Java class annotated with component and implementing command line runner. This class runs automatically when the application starts, reading the data from the source data CSV files. And we ensure the CSV files contain over 40 movies, 30 actors, and 10 genres to provide ample data for testing complex scenarios. Actually, we have exactly 20 movies, and some of them have been deleted by me. Okay, beam validation. what is bean validation? We applied bean validation constraints directly to the fields of our entities. Example right here, not blank, movie title, and so on. When the valid annotation is used in the controller, Spring checks these constraints automatically before processing the request, ensuring data integrity. And the many-to-many relationship is in movies and actors. So one movie could belong to many actors, and one actor can belong to many movies. And this is mapped using the set T collection type and many-to-many annotation. Not blank. Now, architecture. Student explains what a JPA repository is and names at least 3 built-in methods. So this is a specialized interface provided by Spring Data. It acts as the primary data access layer for a specific entity. Data access layer. And as we extend with ID type, and here is our, well, not here. Mm-hmm. Index history, so this should be somewhere here. So this is the history of debugging and finding flaws and rectifying everything that our reviews have identified. So SQL, Structured Query Language, is a standard language used to communicate with databases. Direct SQL writing means manually typing out SQL commands like select from movies, where year equals 2020 to interact with the database. So this is pre-built toolkit. Student explain configuration in application properties, including SQLite setup. So application properties file dictates how Spring Boot and its underlying components behave. For SQLite, this file specifies driver, URL, and dialect. So it tells the application name, data source, and student explains the role of the surface layer. So the last paragraph is written by Notion. That's why it's in very simple language. for laymen who are not programmers. The service layer is the brain of the application, located between controller, HTTP interface, and the repository, data access. Its primary role is to enforce business logic and orchestrate transactions. This is where we implemented complex logic, such as transaction management, using transactional annotation, relationship merging, and force delete logic. So this is service layer. Eager and lazy loading. So eager loading is when you fetch a movie, it doesn't automatically load all the actors right away. So what is entity annotation? So that means treat this as a table in the database, where each object of this class is a row in that table. If you have a movie, just a single movie, class marked with entity, the system automatically creates a movies table, and each movie you create becomes a row with columns for title, year, duration, etc. It's the bridge between your code and your database tables. Student explains Spring Boot application annotation. So the Spring Boot application annotation is like a master switch that turns on your entire Spring application. When you put this at the top of your main program file, let's have a look. So in any Film Society Spring Boot application like this, master switch, think of it as the on button that wakes up your entire application and makes all its parts ready to work. So what could be the main logic? Bootstrap. What is Bootstrap? Just data loader. So if the database is empty, load our CSV files. View problem. Just 3 problems. Convert to try with resources. All right, so these are application properties. Here are controllers. Which talk to HTTP endpoints. And then service. The repository is quite small file. Exceptions are not found. Global exception. So this is the envelope and bad requests. So 404, 404, and this is it. These are our entity. So the problem number 4, package, unused import. Okay, we can delete this import, but not yet. No, thank you. No modification before review. Now, student explains importance of input validation. Right. Why do we need to validate inputs? It's essential for security, preventing injection attacks, and data integrity. Without it, an application could crash or save corrupted data. It's like having a security guard who checks that everything coming into your system is correct and safe before allowing. This bad data could crash your application or corrupt your database. So it catches problems early and gives users helpful error messages, like please enter a valid date, instead of letting the bad data cause problems later. It's about protecting your application. Student can describe valid usage of control methods. So validation by bean annotation. It's like registering specialized tool. When you mark a method with bean, you're telling Spring create this object and keep it ready for use throughout the application. In the context of validation, you might create a bean for validator object that Spring will automatically inject wherever validation needs to happen, ensuring consistent validation rules across your entire application. And bean is a method annotated with bean in a Spring configuration class that creates and returns an object. Spring then manages this object lifecycle, storing it in the application context and making available for dependency injection wherever needed. Think of it as registering a specialized tool that Spring keeps in its toolbox, ready to automatically provide to any part of your application that's requested. And valid annotation placed on the at request body parameter, a post-patch method in the controller, tells Spring to execute the bean validation rules. Example address here, not blank on the entity fields before processing the method. If validation fails, Spring throws an exception that we catch in the global handler, in the global exception handler. It's like putting a quality inspector at the entrance of your controller. So controller is HTTP. So the service layer is in between, and the repository is where entities live. So error handling strategy. It's like centralized our strategy uses controller advice, the global exception handler, to intercept exceptions thrown anywhere in the application. This centralizes error management and this ensures that any error with a custom exception or a validation failure is converted into consistent, clean JSON response. It's like having a centralized customer service department that handles all complaints and problems in one organized ways. And then we have 400 and 404. If there is no exception, then it goes to service, and then it comes to repository, and then asks the entity. So the meaning of 404 error this is status code. Specifically means the server is reachable, but the request resource does not exist. And this is resource not found exception. And project implementation quality. The application adheres to the standard layered architecture controllers, API entry points, call service, business logic, which access the database via repositories, JPA interface. And documentation. A README file was created in the root directory detailing setup and usage. So this is, maybe there are better ways. Well, there is always a better way if you're just starting. And later, as you gradually approach an end of your career, then you will see better ways. So all entities have required fields. Then default delete fails, and when you remove all the connections, then it will succeed. So movie actors list can be updated by patch. We created a separate patch endpoint that takes a simplified JSON body, and this service logic manually retrieves the existing set of actors, performs the set difference and union operations. And default delete fails. This is a security feature enforced in the service layer. All right, so they have gone through all the titles. And now we are going to create a voice channel. Okay, so now I'm opening all the toggles, so I could easily navigate between them without clicking. But it may turn out that I will be clicking to collect them like this. Well. You never know what will happen. And exception, global exception. Do we have controller advice? Yes, this is it. This is it. Spring framework. Very good indeed. Now, click to create. So now I'm sharing the tab. Hi, can you hear me? Привет, Данила. Так, сейчас я наклею эту ссылку на наш созвон. Удалось прокликать все остальные кнопки свои? Данила?
Функционал, да, проверил. Сейчас прокликаем, то есть по ходу дела.
Ну, я так и понял, да.
Он мне пишет, прокликай все, а как прокликаю все, если не знаю ответа.
Ну, там осталось где-то сколько-то, 2-3 кнопки только нажать. Остальное надо слушать объяснение устно. Так, потому что там, сейчас я гляну, где это. Я просто на другой странице, где уже ссылка на Discord, звуковой канал.
Давай прокликаю, просто объяснить, я понимаю, что ты можешь все объяснить.
Так, например, вот если снизу мотать, там, где удаление актера. Ну, у меня пока еще не нажато, то есть еще никто не пробовал, как будто бы, хотя это Георг свое что-то удалял. У него тоже было удаление. Он там писал, что у меня когда-то удалялось в предыдущей версии в любом случае, даже если форс был 0. Вот, поэтому он одно исправил. Здесь просто все вот эти критерии, они повторяются и где-то 2 раза, где-то 3 раза. Одно и то же, просто разными словами немножечко.
Да, да, да.
Вот.
После этого будет еще один проект, где там будет буквально одно и то же повторяться 4 раза.
Я-
Да, там один вопрос просто 4 раза, разные формулировки, а имеет по итогу один смысл.
Ага. И там уже будет 120 критериев, да? Просто я для себя это все свел в более удобную таблицу, где все логично и последовательно, чтобы не прыгать с общего в частное, потом обратно. Вот, поэтому тут где-то, да, или вот еще чуть выше, вот там, где стереть актера, и еще парочка выше, там, где 404 значит, код и 400 тоже это можно кликать, скачав свежую версию, значит, обновленную. Да, а все остальное это будет student.
Единственный студент can describe, по сути, как бы я понимаю, что ты можешь это все объяснить. Честно. Я просто все оценил и пошел дальше за своим делом. Сейчас Георг не заходит, что у нас.
Уже пора, кстати, да. Посмотри, у тебя отображается на 3-м шаге, там, где код ревью. Ух ты, ссылка исчезла опять. Ну смотри.
Время все отображается. Join, ты код ревью, ты должен брать.
Ну вот, просто у меня... Ага, появился, отлично. Пока что у меня не активны эти квадратики. Ну хорошо, ты раздачу видишь? Я экран раздаю.
Я вижу, давай начнем.
Давай, да. Такс. Да. Значит, я сейчас просто проверяю, галочки кликаются или нет, потому что потом... Ага, тестинг прокликался, отлично. Так, ладно, вас я еще не могу нажать, что вы присутствуете. Значит, здравствуйте, дорогие друзья, dear friends, very good, welcome. So, our project is about movies. And first of all, I'm going to show you the main logic over here. Somewhere here, movies API. And then I will show the code and functionality and answer any of your questions. So, what is this movies API? This is a database of movies which are stored as entities. So here are movies, actors, and genres. They are managed by repository of respective entities. And user. Here is a happy user which would like to ask whether you have such database, such movie or not. And he enters a request. And here we have a controller. He takes his request and validates. Is it correct or not? If not, we had exceptions. either bad request or we don't have such resource. If everything is alright, then it gives this request to service layer, which speaks to repository. So this is the main logic. And then this information goes through service layer back to happy user. So this is the main workflow of this project that's built for this review. Now we're going to switch to the checklist of project. So I have reshuffled all the criteria, and we start with conceptual knowledge and then go through to more detailed ideas. So what is REST API? So this is the programming interface which has a URL like localhost, resource like movies, genres, and actors, path parameters like ID for each entity, and query parameters for pages or names of actors, name of movies, years, and so on. So we can filter our search. And how do we talk to this database? We use methods as get, post, patch, and delete. For this implementation, we use only these four. If we use get, that means that we ask a database to show the entity. If we use post, that we create an entity. When we use patch, we update the existing entity. And for example, for actor, we can add movies. We can even rename the actor. We can change his birthday and maybe exclude some movies. And for movies, we can add or remove actors and genres. And delete means that we get rid of this entity, so it can't be retrieved anymore by user. So these operations create, read, update, and delete, kood for short, are used in this API. So dependency injection. In order to tell that this movie is connected to this actor, we need to tell the system that they are somewhat dependent. So this is some kind of design pattern that we can use in this Spring framework. And the Spring Boot environment uses this to make dependencies between different entities like movies, genres, and actors. And as a user asks the database, we need to give some information to the user, and HTTP status codes are designed to give this information. So for example, if something is successful, these codes start with 2. If we don't have such resource, or there is a mistake in the endpoint, then we give the error code started with 4, and so on. So this gives a machine an ability to systemize errors and to work with them, sort and group these kind of requests. And instead of manually typing each endpoint and maybe making some typos, we get collections. Collections are organized as a JSON file, which a user needs to import in Postman, and then you will see the long pile of folders with different actions: get, post, delete, and patch. So at the moment we have at least 20 movies, 5 genres, and 15 actors.
What about students explain validation decisions, require fields, formats, and constraints?
Yes, so in order to process the request, we need to understand that the format is correct. So, for example, entering a birth date or a movie release year, we have to understand that this is in a specified ISO format. That's why we require such fields as birth date, name, movie title, and so on. And then we validate against our criteria. And if the criteria are not met, then we throw an exception. And if criteria are met, then we go ahead with processing the request. So if we wouldn't do this, our database would collect a lot of garbage, and then it could contain, for example, some birth dates, but the other person could ask something different. For example, if the birth date is the 1st of January, so it's 0101, and the person asks January by letters, then system would crash, and we wouldn't like that to happen to our dear customers. So that's why we stick to criteria and to specified formats. So that's why we validate our input by controller. So now we are moving to the architecture and framework knowledge. So these are connected to Spring Boot, which is new for me when I downloaded this for the first time for creating this project and POM file. So the repository is JPA repository, is provided by Spring Data JPA, and it's kind of data access layer. So I can ask with prescribed keywords like find by ID and find all and so on. So I can't use any arbitrary word, but I don't need to use machine language. So that's the idea of these keywords. And Spring Boot application is kind of entire framework, main switch that runs all the Java files in the code. And each I would say card in this database and catalog is like an entity. So it's each single movie, each single actor or genre is like a row in a table, and spreadsheet, and it's basically like an Excel or Google Sheets. So this is each item has its own row. And we could use either eager or lazy loading. For example, if we load only the specified information, this is the lazy one, or eager loading, we would give all the available information about single request. For example, if user asks some movie, then we don't just give one movie, but we give all the actors in that movie, all the runners, and all other movies that these actors are starred in. So that would be eager loading. And we use lazy loading for saving resources. And many-to-many relationship is shorthand for creating connections, dependencies between entities, movies, and actors. So one movie can have up to every actor, and each individual actor, can be connected in many movies. And the service layer is, as I described in the picture, is serving business logic. It is like a servant or waitress between kitchen and restaurant hall, asking between client and repository. And here all the main logic is designed. How do we handle all the requests, what we provide and what we don't. And we have quite a small file, application properties, which has all the necessary data so we tell the components, the driver, dialect, and so on. I could share the entire screen so you see the code. So this one.
Yes.
So here we have all the configuration, dialects, and formats. Then next question is about input validation, which I already have covered. So this is for security and data integrity. So we know that all the fields are of the same kind and of the same format. And the valid usage in controller methods. So this is for validation before processing the method. So if validation fails, Spring throws an exception. Disappeared. Okay. So And then user needs to input the request or update its request. And if validation is passed, then we go ahead with processing the method. And exceptions. So here I have implemented only 2 of them. So this is the global handler. This one takes the first access and then says either resource is not existent or format is wrong. Please handle it and update it. And here are both of them. So it's this one is 400 and another one is 404. And 404 means that server is responsive, everything is working, but the resource, this entity, is missing, and either ID or name or date is inconsistent. So user needs to update its request and process that once again. So project implementation that you already have covered by yourself. So if you like, I can show this as well on my computer. So entities have all the IDs, title names, dates, many-to-many between movies, actors, and movie runners. Yes, so and now all the deletion works as necessary. So if you try to delete some actor or movie which have connections, dependencies with other entities, and force will be false, then it will say that movie has connections to actors. And as force is true, then it will delete everything at once. So these are points where student could explain something, and now I can either show the code or the Postman. Did any of you try to use browser for localhost queries?
No, I use Postman.
Okay, so sometimes when you export the database, for exporting you need to use browser. All the rest of the collections work in Postman. So if you have any questions, go ahead. I have covered all the text. On your side, what? Say again.
On my side, I don't really think I have any questions. I think the project is pretty well done.
Thank you.
I don't see any issues. I totally agree with Georg.
Okay, thank you. So.
And I think we can finish. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have the ability to click over here to? Ah, now I have. Okay. All right. So now we can finish the call. Thank you for coming in. See you next time.
Yes. Goodbye.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Ну что же, вот и дорогие друзья, все закончилось, все торопятся куда-то постоянно, никому нет дела до нас. Что же это такое?